Hello, today is April 17, 1497, and we are here with special guest Christopher Columbus.
It has been many years since Columbus reached the New World thinking it was Japan, and has brought us many Indian slaves to help us with everyday work while also colonizing what is now America.
Hello, Columbus. How are you able to accomplish such feats?
As many people now knew, the world was round. So, all I had to think about was the position of the East. I did not need to worry about the falling off the face of the earth. South was just a dumb old rumor. Originally, since I had sailed east to get to the Far East and sailing west to get to the Far East would be the same. This allowed me and others after me to sail in two different directions to get to the destination. I also had to have a strong and smart crew with me, as this was the first time anyone had sailed to what we thought was the East, and no one really knew what to expect. My crew was glorious. They helped me with my navigations and every other task on board. Finally, as we started on our new journey, we navigated by using the dead reckoning technique, one of my personal favorites.
What is dead reckoning exactly?
Aha! Dead reckoning was the technique we used when we were in unknown waters. By knowing our last location, we calculated what direction our ship was going, how fast we were going, and finally, how long we had been traveling since to know where we were.
Are there any other techniques that you used other than dead reckoning?
Well, even though that method was my favorite, the Portuguese had recently invented the magnetic compass. Although this worked quite efficiently, the compass pointed to magnetic north and not true north. Therefore, our ship could sometimes steer off course. Lastly, we used an astrolabe. This was a metal disc inscribed with a map of the major celestial bodies. A mariner could tell the location simply by positioning the stars on the astrolabe to match the stars in the sky. But it only worked if the skies were very clear.
Now that we have talked about how you got to the New World, what was your first impression of the land once you got there?
I'm glad you asked. My first impression of the Arawaks was very important in my eventual success. When I first sailed into what I thought was Japan, the Arawaks were very kind and open about their possessions. This allowed me to take advantage of them a little bit to achieve my goals.
What was so important about this observation of the Arawaks?
Well, they are so naive and so free with their possessions that no one who has not witnessed them will believe it. When you ask for something that they have, they never say no. In addition, they offer to share with anyone. I noticed that they happen to have some gold on their land, which they were very open about, so of course I had to ask about it. I simply told a little white lie that I would bring them on my next voyage in return for some gold and slaves. It was all in the interest of Spain, and after all, gold is a symbol of wealth, and we needed wealth.
Did you notice anything else about them besides them being naive? Were any of them aggressive towards your men or yourself?
Not at all. They do not bear arms and do not know how to use them. When I showed them a sword, they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants, however. We realized that with 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we wanted.
I learned that the Arawaks were greatly affected by some of the advanced technology you and your crew had. Is this true?
We came prepared as anyone would. We brought with us muskets and swords and horses. When the Arawaks became hesitant about coming back to Spain with us, we had to use force in order for them to come aboard the ship. If any of the Arawaks would have voluntarily come on the ships, we would not have had to use any of our swords or muskets, and the Indians would not have been affected negatively. We had to do what needed to be done in order for them to come to Spain with us.